How did a crossbow-wielding assassin get this close to Windsor Palace? And how did two separate gunmen get shots at the Queen within months of each other? Among royalty, none is more well-known than Elizabeth Windsor, Queen Elizabeth II. The first assassination attempt on the Queen, at least that we know of, took place in 1970 during a visit to Australia. The Queen and her husband, Prince Philip, were traveling cross-country via train. When they passed near the town of Lithgow, a large log was found on the tracks near a bend in the rails. The authorities are certain it wasn't an accident because a sweeper train had gone through the area an hour before. It is believed that whoever put the log on the tracks, possibly IRA sympathizers, wanted the train to derail. Fortunately for the Queen, the train was traveling slowly enough that it stayed on the tracks.
She doesn't panic, however grim the situation is. She just doesn't panic.
In order not to embarrass Australia, the incident was covered up until 2009, when a former detective who worked on the case came forward. The second attempt on the Queen's life came in June 1981 in London. The annual parade marking the official birthday of British monarchs, called Trooping the Colour, had just begun, and the Queen was astride her horse, Burmese.
Her Majesty herself is an amazing horsewoman, very accomplished horsewoman, knows horses in and out.
In the crowd was a disaffected 17-year-old named Marcus Sargent, who had a starter pistol loaded with 6 rounds. As the Queen passed by, he fired all 6 shots. Obviously, they were blanks, so no one was hurt. The Queen's horse was startled, but she quickly regained control and continued with the parade as if nothing had happened. Why would a random teenager do something so frightening while also destined to fail? He wanted to be famous, and since the internet didn't exist yet, he was inspired by recent assassination attempts on Ronald Reagan and Pope John Paul II. A few months after the Trooping the Colour incident, the Queen was in Dunedin, New Zealand. She had just stepped out of her car when a single shot rang out. The shooter was Christopher Lewis, another disaffected 17-year-old hidden in the 5th floor bathroom of a nearby building. He missed. In fact, he never had a chance of hitting the Queen with his low-powered .22 rifle. Lewis was a troubled teenager with a history of arson and animal torture who developed an obsession with the royals. When Prince Charles visited New Zealand 2 years later, he attempted to break out of prison to kill him. So when the Queen returned in 1995, the government transferred Lewis 600 miles away so he wouldn't be anywhere near her. One morning in July 1982, Queen Elizabeth II awoke to an intruder in her bedroom. The Queen phoned for security, but help didn't arrive for nearly 10 minutes. The intruder was Michael Fagan, an unemployed divorcee from London. He found his way to the private royal apartments and slipped into the Queen's room while she was still sleeping. Fagan had ample opportunity to hurt her, but didn't. His mother said he admired the Queen, in fact, and probably just wanted to have a chat. The most recent attempt on Her Majesty's life came on Christmas morning 2021.
Although it's a time of great happiness and good cheer for many, Christmas can be hard for those who have lost loved ones.
A 19-year-old named Jaswant Singh Chale was found outside Windsor Castle with a crossbow. Fortunately, he was taken into custody before he could find a way inside. Royal security has improved a lot in 40 years. Days after his arrest, the Snapchat video he'd sent to friends came to light. In it, he professed that he was going to kill the Queen on Christmas Day, in revenge for the 1919 Jallianwala Bagh massacre in which up to 1,000 Indians were murdered by British troops. In the video, Chale self-identifies as a Sith, yes, from Star Wars, and says his name is Darth Jones. Behind him is a framed picture of obscure Star Wars villain Darth Malgus. After all of the attempts on her life over the last decades, Queen Elizabeth II died peacefully at Balmoral Castle on September 8, 2022, at the age of 96.